Hey guys, Mr. Abyss here with Life is a Shonen. If you're enjoying the content on our channel, go ahead and like our video and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to go ahead and get updates whenever we put out a new video, go ahead and click that little bell down there as well. Enjoy! Welcome to the, I guess, Halloween edition. That would be all year. All year Halloween. On all month, we focus on things we're going to be doing with the current season, which is Halloween.
I mean, I wouldn't mind an all-year thing.
Yes, constantly just Halloween thing.
Rachel knows Halloween's my favorite.
I know.
It's
Halloween.
the only holiday I like.
My favorite month.
We could have like a Jack Skellington Christmas, though. You know what I'm saying?
I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
Very fine with that.
So okay.
Well, we're gonna focus on ghost stories this time, or at least like paranormal stuff,
Little
unexplained
Halloween
events,
scary things.
Halloween-based stuff.
Because I don't really have many like.
We can also tell about. We're gonna talk about like stuff that scared us as kids and stuff that kind of like maybe even scares us now.
All right.
Maybe some movies we saw or our favorite things during Halloween.
Man, I can jive with that.
I will have to. I do have to admit. So Rachel doesn't watch scary movies with me.
Nope.
I don't understand this. How is this, like, what do you mean?
Okay.
What constitutes as a scary movie?
Stranger Things, does that count?
You can't watch Stranger
No,
Things.
I love Stranger Things.
That's
like,
not scary at all. That's just like sci-fi.
It's not scary. Okay, do you see that? So my version of scary, I guess, would be along the lines of like The Ring, The Exorcism of Emily Rose, that sort of shit. Like, I don't watch that stuff at all.
Why, though? I must know why.
I've seen too much shit in my day to be willing to watch it on TV.
I've seen some
acceptable.
shit in my day.
I can't argue with
I've
this.
seen it. I don't need to see it again. That's enough.
True.
I come from a different background.
I've seen a lot of horror movies by this time. Anyway, like, and there aren't very many good ones that
they're just dead for me. Like, there's nothing scary.
They're more shock factor
They're
now.
They're the jump scare, which is
That's so stupid.
You
can sit in the movie theater and just predict.
Yeah.
Okay, it's getting weird. The music started. He's gonna turn the corner and blah.
Mm-hmm.
It's just awful.
Maybe the creepiest film I've seen this year was A Quiet Place. Is that what it's called?
Okay, that was
that was like pretty good. And you could like anticipate everything based off of the scores in the movie.
Yeah.
But still got you.
That was more
like
of a
it was
thriller
still like
kind of.
it was really well done.
It was.
Yeah.
I really did like
The last scary movie I watched, maybe like The Mirror.
I don't even know what that is.
It was the guy from 24. What's his name?
Keith Sutherland?
Keith Sutherland was in it. And it was him going through this weird, like, not prison, some weird shit. And this weird shit was happening in mirrors.
He became the caretaker of, like,
something.
This place?
I don't remember what it was. But that shit was scary.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, because, like, the mirror started to stab him. Like, his own reflection started to kill him.
Uh-huh.
So he has to fight his own, like,
he becomes
that's
the
weird
caretaker
shit.
of this place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
That was a good fucking movie.
Yeah. Oculus.
I don't know, Oculus.
Oh, you guys have, okay. That one was pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got a cool name.
The Descent was scary.
Oh, dude, The Descent is probably
really
one of the,
like...
All right, into the ghost stories.
Okay, so we'll go progression. We've all got at least like a couple weird ones, right?
Something to tell,
Yeah,
I got it, yeah. Most of mine are from my stepdad, though.
Okay. Well,
when we were young, he used to tell us a lot of ghost
Second-hand
stories.
ghost stories?
Cool.
Okay.
From like back in El
Oh, shit, okay, all right.
So.
Shit can get weird there.
Yeah, right?
You should start.
You have to go first.
Oh, I have to go first? Okay. All right, so this isn't even going to be scary, really. It's just going to be like, the fuck? But, okay. My mom, when my oldest sister was born, she was a stay-at-home mom straight from the beginning, you know, like brand new baby, all that stuff. They moved into this house in a town called Duncan in South Carolina. And a little woman had owned it before. And she passed away at some point, whatever. So my sister's crying one night in the crib, and it's one of those rocking cribs, and my mom sat a bottle like beside her on the nightstand.
Yeah.
And she goes in there because she's gonna give her the bottle once she starts to cry. She goes in there, and the bottle's being held upright in my sister's mouth, and the crib is rocking.
It's always good.
No. And yeah,
that's a good thing to see.
And my mom was just like, "Here's my mom's approach to that." No, I'd be like, "Okay,
sorry,
nah.
baby.
Sorry, dude. Like you
gotta take care of yourself, this boy."
My mom's approach was like, all right. Like, she went back to bed. Like, that's not unusual, this brand new baby.
Hey, at least I don't have to do it.
Yeah, right.
And so then, like,
I guess
my
I
mom,
wouldn't be upset with the ghost. I'd be like, thanks.
Yeah,
man.
this is,
Like,
it's just a really nice ghost.
Yeah.
He just takes
I
care
really
of
need
shit.
to get some sleep, and the ghost knew.
that's
So.
pretty much what ends up happening. So, like, my mom realized this ghost was just, like, some sort of helpful ghost. And, like, just went
Casper the
along
Friendly
with it.
Ghost.
She was like, cool. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I got some help. I need some, you know?
As long as you're not banging
So-
on my windows and throwing plates, I'm good.
Yeah, right? No, she'd literally be like, I'm ready to take a bath. Like, she'd yell it out into the house. And the bath water would turn on.
What?
Yeah. And she like you can turn it off now, and it'd turn off.
Hmm.
And like instead of just being like, there's a fucking poltergeist, she's like, nah, she's nice.
I'll
like,
just-
it's
I'll just kill
whatever.
myself.
Like,
I don't need ghosts in my house. Even if it's a helpful ghost, it's just setting me up to like fuck me later.
I'm
Right.
like, until that moment, it's like, you're mine. Like, you know, just like,
You could set up. Remember, because I was working on a script where it was like kind of like a kill house where you set up almost an automated house that makes it seem like there's ghosts in there.
Yeah. Ah, okay.
And so
Okay.
as the people are going through there, they think they're being like haunted, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's like
Oh
a
my
guy
God.
trying to
Like the plate gets
murder
thrown, but it's set up
Yeah.
on something.
them. Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't be bad.
So set up like when you walk into certain rooms, it starts turning the faucet on. on its own.
that would be hilarious. But explain the bottle being held up.
Hmm?
I said, but then explain the bottle being held up.
I'm sure we
nothing.
figure out something, some
Mm.
balancing on
No,
the.
there's nothing. If the bottle was just suspended in air,
Yeah.
I have nothing for that. I have nothing for that.
Macaulay was fucking talented. That's all we know. Like, that's a genius baby going to bed.
Mine suck. My stories suck. They're just like, because they're just like weird little things that happen.
Mhm.
So see, this is the worst story. I'm really bad at telling stories. I found out. So, well, the first one's a funny one. I actually figured out why this happened, but
Mhm.
so I spent my whole days. I was an avid reader as a child. You know, let's read some different books. Decided to read what was the movie? The movie with Will Smith and the aliens invade Independence Day. So I read the Independence
Men
Day
in
book,
Black.
which is in and of itself not a scary book.
Mhm.
It's just there's an alien invasions. Aliens
Yeah.
fuck you up. They're
Still
gone.
pretty scary.
But I remember reading this. I get done with the book. My
Like
dad comes
science.
in. I'm pretty young then. He's like, do all the kiss things and put you to bed. Oh, also, there's a thing I did as a child. I believed that if I fell asleep smiling, I wouldn't have bad dreams
Oh yes.
because my nightmares were so bad. That was the only way I could get past them.
Damn.
But I remember laying down. I'm doing my thing. It's working. About to pass into sleep. Then I roll over and I look at my closet. As I'm sitting there, one of the doors flings open like hard. It's like if someone grabbed it and just swung it open as hard as they can.
Oh, no.
It swings open. I sprint out of my room into the living room. I'm just like I can't even say words to my parents. Just the incomprehensible fear of my closet being flung open by like space. Whatever did that. Eventually, I realized it's probably the air current of the house.
Yeah.
Where if you shut one door, but that flung pretty.
No, they only
fucking
hard.
close. It doesn't fly open.
It flung, but like the door in my room can't close all the way.
It had.
So it's always in that sort of I'm open but closed.
Okay.
It never.
But air currents
That was
won't make
pretty
it.
interesting.
Okay.
I can get
Fair.
around that one.
I can get it.
I like that one.
But yeah, that scared the shit out of me. But that's not even.
You
my
know,
ghost
there was
story.
some ghost in there just like dying, laughing. Just
what an asshole.
got
Look
him.
at him so scared. No, I don't have anything that I've had moments where I'm super scared, and I've gotten that frozen feeling that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
the death fear.
But it's not because I saw something or experienced something. It's more of like, oh, I felt something,
Yes.
or I
That counts.
like did
That
Yes, that
totally
counts.
out of the
counts.
corner of my
One of
eye
mine is
kinda
that.
thing. You know, I've had moments where I've heard things
Yeah.
like
An intense
whispering
feeling, you mean? Like
kind
a-
of thing.
Like I've literally heard a voice before,
Mhm.
twice.
Yeah.
Like,
There was once I was walking through my kitchen, and like to this day, like I usually I'm a pretty, you know, even I
Yeah.
don't really think too much about it. You know, I've never had a real experience or anything.
Yeah.
But I could have sworn I heard someone literally speaking over my shoulder as I was walking through the kitchen,
What's up,
and
bro?
I just like, yeah,
He just goes, damn, Daniel.
but
That'd be
and,
the best
you know
ghost.
that
It's
kind of
Britney,
freaked me the
bitch.
fuck out.
Because it terrified, like, something truly abnormal has happened,
Mhm.
and I don't have things to explain it.
It's
Like,
yeah,
all you get is that where like cold goes through your body.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Everything just
this one time, I was 17, I think. Actually, I could have been 19 at this point. I had a jar full of color pencils. I had been drawing and stuff, and they were sitting on my table. And whatever happened, like I moved something and they fell over, and I was like walking somewhere else. I was like, oh, I'll come back for them. And a voice right behind me goes, Rachel, Olivia, pick up your pencils. And I was just like, the fuck? And I just started laughing. I was like, like I just picked up the pencils.
It's the nope.
You got it. There's no
nope,
guys
nope.
living here. Yeah, that was a dude's voice. Like,
This shit's weird. I hate ghost shit. I don't hate it. Like I don't know.
I've had like
I love
feelings,
hate it.
Like
I've had here I'll interject with the one that I cannot explain. It emotionally doesn't make sense to me. So I'm in the apartment. I used to live with Mike and Omar in the apartment with Nemish. So I'm the only one in the apartment. I'm walking around. Everything's pretty normal. Nemish had a large collection of anime you could choose from.
yeah.
So I went into our room, checked out the anime, and all of a sudden I felt this like the most intense, heavy feeling of hatred that I've ever
Ooh.
felt in my like. Something
Yeah.
wanted to kill me and
Oh,
hated me, and like I just wanted to get out of this place, get out of the apartment that I live
Yeah.
in,
Oh wow.
and I was frozen, and then it went away.
Damn.
I don't know what that was. I have no explanation for that.
I guess
Don't know.
I've had something
Yeah, you
like that
felt
before,
something.
but I know what it is now that I've studied it and like I've,
Yeah.
you know, because I spend so much time researching shit. So, but
INTJ.
it was sleep paralysis
Mm.
where you wake up
Okay.
and you feel like you're being like pressed down.
Okay.
I don't even
Well,
like
I woke
it.
up from like I guess.
What did you do?
Well, I was laying face down, and I was actually with my friends, and we were watching a movie. I guess it was super late, and I had just
Yeah.
like knocked out.
That
And
weird
I woke-
shit's in your head.
Yeah, and I woke up in the middle, and in my head, it felt like I was being held down because
Ugh.
I couldn't move at all. Like I
What
was
a
conscious.
Terrifying
Oh my
Like,
feeling.
and I was just like, it feels like you're almost like not mummified, but petrified. You know, it's just like
Trying
completely
so-
unable to.
Like when you're trying, does anything happen?
Nothing
Nothing
happened.
happens.
no,
I've had it
nah, dude.
happen. Nothing
Like
happens.
you try as hard as you can.
I just wake up and I'm
like,
paralyzed.
like
you don't have
can't-
that connection.
Ugh,
It's
I
not
don't
there.
like that.
Yeah,
Nah.
it's crazy.
I have one like that. All right. So in that same apartment, which let me start off with like this apartment was called Open Arms Apartment, which is a apartment meant for people who have a family member who is in the hospital or
Yeah.
who's in special need, you
Like
know,
a
things like that.
support group or
It's open to you because you can't afford to work, basically,
okay.
and you
Okay,
have to
okay.
support this child or
Yeah.
human, you know, like
that makes sense.
You know what I mean? So it's like a waiver.
That's cool. That
basically.
exists.
Very cool. Open arms. Multiple people had died there.
Yeah.
So there you go. Fun apartment. Anyway, like I always saw shit in that apartment. Like I've seen stuff my entire life since I was little, and while I was there the whole time, I'd be like, that's the person. like there's someone over there. Like I would just like see stuff like out the corner of my eye. I'm like, yep, it's there.
That's there.
Like,
That wasn't weird at all. Nope.
and,
Totally normal.
sometimes I just like sometimes they'd be like light, you know, figures or whatever, so you could tell like it was peaceful and stuff. But it's like I don't what's up, like you know, hey.
I remember this one instance. Jeremy, do you remember our trip to Mississippi and
Vicksburg?
Yeah, to Vicksburg.
Oh yes.
Exactly.
I
Cool.
do remember this.
So we went on those ghost tours, right?
yes.
And one of them was coming to an end, and they were saying like it was pretty much just a tour, and
We
they
were in
happened to
a- was
claim
it that-
that it was
Like a wooden house?
yeah.
I remember this house.
Okay,
And they
and-
had like a thing with the blood of a Civil War soldier and
Uh-huh.
all. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What?
So
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we went on some pretty interesting like tours. 'cause we
Private
went
school
to
for the win.
Yeah, there was a lot. Well, the tours that we went on were for the war, like
Yeah, it was
the
the giant
Civil-
Antietam.
Yeah,
A giant battle that happened in Mississippi where like like one of the top lives were lost in this battle.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we were learning about that and going to the different houses of the, I guess, general
Like one was a
plantation
place where they would
owners.
bring the wounded
Mhm.
soldiers,
Yeah.
and some lady ran a house where she just treated
Mhm.
whoever.
Okay.
And then you would go to another place where like that's the battlefield. Like 100,000 people died there.
Oh god.
You're standing on land that was soaked with blood. Like, I was like, oh wow, okay.
Shit. These guys are for real.
But we went into the house and it was coming towards the end of the tour and nothing had happened. So we are like, of course, it's all fake, whatever. But at the very, very end, randomly, like as like we were leaving, I think it was me and like 2 or 3 other people. I can't remember who it was, like some other students. All of a sudden, the lights to this like I guess like a cellar, just like popped on as everybody was like leaving back to the entrance and stuff. I was like, oh.
And one of us possessed.
Yeah, for real.
Awesome.
Oh, we could talk about, I don't know if we'd be able to talk about that.
I was just
I love how Jeremy
viewer.
knows what I'm, just by me saying talk about that, like not even
I don't even
mentioning
know what's happening.
The only other unexplainable moment that I could say I have is, and it's not even like nothing precluded this. Nothing was scary going into it. Just normal nights. Everything's normal. Once again, child laid down to sleep, laying there. And
laying down to sleep,
it is as if someone took a pillow that's in a pillowcase and they, stuffed it down to ball it up, and someone grabbed it and slammed it on my face. Like, I got hit by something. I did get hit by something. I physically felt that. It wakes me up, and then nothing's there. It's happened.
You punched yourself.
That's happened. I did not punch myself.
You punched yourself.
I didn't punch myself.
I've seen
felt
people
soft.
do this.
It wasn't like,
It's not. You can't punch hard in your sleep.
what did I do?
You just were like.
You're just like, fuck.
You just straight up were like this. Like your arm is probably like doing something. You're like, psh, and like.
Yes.
You
I mean, that's a good explanation for that.
I've seen it happen.
I'm weird then.
Like, okay, so.
I just fucked myself up at night.
I dreamed one night that like a demon was biting me, and I woke up with my fingernails in my hands.
Oh,
like
shit.
that's what was biting me.
Yeah.
And like it was my own fingernails, but I still slept with all the lights on. Like I was like it was using my own body against me. Like
That would make a lot more sense than a ghost punching me.
using a pillow.
Why is this ghost just hitting me?
With such a bitch ass punch. Like,
He just wants to annoy me.
Puts bars of soap inside of the
Mac.
pillowcase. Beats you with it.
Finger say in the face.
That's about as far as my
slap.
ghost shit goes.
Huh?
That's about as far, because everything else to me is like super explainable.
Yeah.
And even that was super explainable.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I've seen weird shit, but I'm a kid, so of course I saw weird shit.
Mm-hmm. I've had like
still think
instances
the door
like
one
where,
was
the door one's a
real.
pretty good one.
I think that was something.
Nah, dude, that was the airflow.
I really don't think that was the airflow.
I don't
Like,
want
if
a
it
demon
slammed-
in my closet.
It's a
I still sleep in
closet.
that room.
First of all, it's a closet and it flew open. There's no air vents in closets to begin with.
But the door can't close.
I understand it can't close, but all right.
Like a cat could open the door.
All right, so this is the closet door, right?
Yes.
Okay. The door to your room was already closed, right?
No, that was open.
Okay, it was open.
Yeah, my parents
So there
hated
was no
closed doors for some
flow
reason.
change, if you notice.
Except for the front door or the back door or the garage door.
Did they close one of those?
I mean, I would, my childhood soul, like, hoped they did. Other than a ghost fucking, slam my door open.
Oh, you saged your house. You're fine. It's fine. I saged today. Kept feeling. All right. So that's something weird that happened. This morning. Okay, last night I went to
Rachel
bed.
thinks the apartment's haunted.
I don't think the apartment's haunted because I saged.
My only thing with hauntings is why are they all like depressing weird things? Why isn't there just like Frank that was a plumber and he fell and hit his head?
My mom had a nice lady. I mean, like there are some of those.
There are regular ghosts? Okay.
I mean, she's like, "Hey, you got a baby you need help with? Let me help.
There
Like,
you go, dude.
you want a bath? Like, I got you."
Strong emotions
I've been
usually
there,
stay
like-
behind, you know? Strong. So, I mean, maybe that ghost was like a woman who wanted a baby really bad, but was
Yeah,
not
she's
able
trying to steal that baby.
What if?
Just trying to
But
take
she
the
was
baby.
trying to also help mom. Like when
No,
she
she was
needed
helping
bath.
herself. It just happened to
Yeah,
also
it
help
just
her.
happened to help her because she was.
She's taking care of it as if it's her baby.
It was her baby. It was a ghost
And
baby.
if you tried to stop her from doing it, that's when she'd go crazy.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good.
Well, they don't live there anymore.
that's a good
so.
ghost. I mean, that's a good movie right there.
Yeah, everything's going well
I
and
mean,
good, but
that's
one
like-
day.
The
when it's
hand that
rocking
rocked
it.
the cradle, just
Yeah.
ghost
The-
form. Like
What's a word for like stepmother, but that's not stepmother. The other
mistress.
The other
mother. The other mother.
The other mother.
Oh, like in what's that
Nanny.
claymation movie?
claymation?
Coraline.
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 Coraline. Wait, what?
Coraline.
Is that it? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
The fuck is
Okay.
Coraline?
Coraline, the movie.
It's a Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
I know.
I've never seen it either, but I know what you're talking about.
We have it.
I haven't watched
James
it.
and the Giant Peach. That's all I know.
Hells yes,
Nice.
I loved that one.
Was
Oh
it Tim
my
Burton?
god, yeah,
Okay, it had to be. Very
it's
close to-
absolutely Tim Burton.
Yeah, it's got to be.
He's a
Like,
master of
It's a
stop
good fucking
motion.
movie.
Tim Burton. I've always loved Tim Burton. He's great.
Very talented.
Yeah. Oh, so okay. Today, not today. Last night, technically, I guess. He falls asleep on the couch, and I try to get him to like come to the bed like twice at least, and then by the third time, I was like, "Okay, when you're ready to come, just come." You know, like I covered
Yeah.
him up, and I went and lay down in the bedroom, and I kept feeling so weird. Like I just like had this really strange feeling, like. Not like I didn't want to be alone in the bedroom, but like I didn't want either one of us to be alone.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he doesn't come in there, I'm sleeping on the love seat because like I don't feel right now.
Yeah.
And then the ceiling fan started making this scraping noise all of a sudden. It was like,
Unacceptable.
and then, like out of the blue, like it's never happened before. And I was like, nope. Like I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm
fuck
done with
that
this.
shit. I like came and got him. I was like, hey, get up, come to bed with me. Like he was like, okay.
If I'm dying, we're
I
all
was
dying.
like, we're going in there together. And anyway, so then the fan was on. And I wake up and the fan's off. And so I just, I figure he turned it off at some point, of course. And he wakes up this morning. He's like, why did you turn the fan off? I was like, I didn't turn the fan off. He was like, but it was off. I was like, yep, sure was. He was like, I didn't turn it off. I was like, I think one of us turned the fan off. Like,
Why do they do why do they fuck with us though?
Yeah.
Why
you
do
gotta
ghosts
ima-
come in and
okay,
just like,
hang on,
I'm
hang
gonna
on.
flip the light on?
I have an answer for that.
Oh, you know who we need to invite
They just
next
troll
time that
you.
we talking about fans, and I know this is like really, really random, but Scott. Scott has a great story about a
Good ghost story?
Ghost story that
Oh,
has
that'd
a
be
fan
cool.
involved.
Everyone bring someone in per
Yeah.
week.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That'd be awesome. So we're gonna invite Scott next week. So Scott, you better listen to this, and you're
Yeah,
gonna
You've
you
heard him
better.
on like one of the
Hey, just
very
tag him
early
in it.
videos.
yeah.
Tag him and
Oh
tell him
yeah,
he's
well, I'm
in
gonna
it.
tag
Ah,
you.
yes.
Yeah.